Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to The Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado Springs Real Estate Authority. That is Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that the Springs has to offer. An amazing team, Barb. Always great to be talking with you. Now, we air the Real Estate Voice show every Saturday. And if you can't listen to the entire show because you're driving around or you're busy, just go to Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or search Barb Schlinker, Schlinker, on most of the popular podcast platforms, iHeart Radio, and all of the others. Every week, the Real Estate Voice covers great information about your primary asset, and that's your home. So, Barb, what will we be covering today?
Well, Richard, the market has really shifted, and it's shifted very quickly. So the first topic is probably on a lot of people's minds, especially if they have their home on the market right now, is how interest rates are affecting the Colorado Springs area real estate market. Then the next segment, we're going to talk about the top 5 things that you can do to sell your home for top dollar. The next one's a little bit controversial. I'll probably get in trouble for covering this, but I get this question all the time. That's why I'm talking about it. How to cancel your agreement if your home is not selling. And then the last one I want to talk about, near and dear to my heart, why we give back to veterans' causes, and some hot new listings coming up. Richard?
Well, and God bless you and your team for always looking out for veterans. That, I want to tell people, that's not a new thing. You've been doing that as long as I have known you. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the program. Barb, it seems like a short time ago, we were talking about lots of bidding wars on homes, buyers struggling to get their offers accepted. Now, along with interest rates rising, it appears that homes are taking longer to sell. So what should people be thinking of making if they're thinking about making a move? What should they know about this current real estate market and the environment we're in right now?
Well, Richard, we just ended one of the biggest real estate booms ever that we'll probably see in our lifetimes. And a lot of this was kind of artificially created by the Fed buying back bonds through the central bank and creating really, really low interest rates. So the lower the interest rates, the higher the prices go, because the homes are more affordable for buyers. So if you look back over time, go back 50 years, the average interest rate on a mortgage was over 7%. However, in the previous couple of years, we've enjoyed 3.5. I talked to somebody recently that had a rate of 2.6%. I mean, unbelievable. It's like free money. And that was all created by the government meddling with the system, essentially, and buying back bonds in order to get the interest rates artificially low. They did that after the meltdown in 2008. Just to kind of bring the economy that was kind of imploding with the stock market and the real estate all at the same time. So to fix it, I really think the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, basically is worried about inflation. So he has gotten up there and effectively said that he's going to continue driving up interest rates until inflation hits 2%. Well, so far, it's not working. The interest rates actually have more than doubled just in a few months. And it hasn't had much of an impact on inflation because there's a lot of things working against his efforts right now, including the cost of fuel and all the things that are going on with the government, creating a fuel problem at the same time. It's almost like the 70s are happening all over again. Doesn't it seem like that, Richard?
In a lot of ways, it sure as heck feels like it. And that's why I turned to you, because I think for a lot of us, it's general recollection of what we went through then and what we might be doing now. To you, it's very, very specific.
Right. And so if over 50 years, or the average over 50 years, the mortgage interest rates were a little over 7%. Right now we're below that, but the expectation is the rates are going to keep going up. So what does that mean for somebody thinking of making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? The higher the interest rates go, it has a downward pressure on home prices because the homes become less affordable for people getting a mortgage, which means that fewer buyers are out there pulling the trigger on purchasing a home. And the biggest demographic of people buying a home actually is the millennials and the Gen Xers, which is a bigger generation than ours. They're probably age 20s all the way up to 40s. And this rise in interest rates affects their house payments, right? So to see interest rates suddenly more than double overnight absolutely affects a buyer's ability to purchase a home and handle these higher payments. So what we're seeing right now in the market is more supply, okay? And we're seeing fewer homes selling. We're certainly not seeing very many bidding wars, although I have them here and there. I will say, I had one last weekend. I had them really it still happens, but it really depends on how the seller positions the home in terms of pricing and preparation, and we will kick in and do the marketing. So we're seeing more supply. And if you look back over time and look at the average days on market until a home goes under contract, and just so you know, not every home goes under contract. Some homes don't sell. And part of the reason why they don't sell is that home sellers are kind of not accepting the reality of how quickly this market changed. I've never seen it change this fast in my career. And if you look at back in the prices in April, the average home price in April was almost $562,000. We just got new statistics today. The average home price is now $528,000. So that's almost a $39,000 drop in home prices in just a few months. Is that amazing, Richard, or not?
Boy, it is. And I don't think the average person would understand that the drop happened, much less why it's happening and how it would impact them, or, like I always say, their friends, their relatives, the people they work with who are thinking about buying or selling.
Exactly. And what I see going on is, if you look back over time on the average days on market, so right after the meltdown, the average days on market was 110 days, and not every home was selling. Then in 2015, it was 100 days. Then in 2019, it was 45 days. That wasn't that long ago, and the market wasn't that bad then. And now we're at 25 days on the market until they're getting a contract. So it's not horrible. It's still a seller's market. Prices are going up, but do not expect 20%. So if you're looking back 6 months ago at some similar home that sold and expecting to get that number, it's not going to work. And there are some people that will listen to that advice and price it realistically versus optimistically. And there are others that'll be like, no, I want top dollar and I'm going to wait for it. And you might wait a long time. And what the future holds is that the prices are likely to keep coming down as long as the Fed is stepping on the gas with interest rates. And he's promised to do that until we get inflation to 2%. I think right now, is it over 8, Richard? Does that sound right?
It is. And here in Colorado, I guess it's over 15. At least it was over 15 in July. It's still in double digits. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot. So we're in a seller's market in that the demand is somewhat higher than supply. A buyer's market is when the supply exceeds demand. So we had that after the meltdown. We had that back in the 90s when I first started in the real estate business. It does happen. Markets go up and down. It's not that uncommon, but over the long term, home values tend to go up. So I don't think we're going to see a big 25% correction like we did right after the meltdown in 2007 and 2008. But whatever the case, if somebody is planning on selling their home right now, There's three key things that they have to pay attention to. Preparation to make sure they can make the home as attractive as possible. Pricing, you have to get that right. And it's actually counterintuitive on pricing. You cannot price the home high for negotiating room. You actually have to price it realistically to get top dollar. And then promotion, and that's where the agent comes in. So preparation's pretty easy. Curb appeal, flooring, paint, kitchens, bath, and clean. Online marketing has to be top notch. If you have bad pictures of your home online, buyers will eliminate it before they even come out to see it. And dramatic paint really has to be resolved quite quickly. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to the Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach Barb and her team at 719-301-3900. We're talking about the shift in real estate market and sudden increases in available homes. Barb, in just a couple of minutes, what should the buyer do when the market shifts like this?
Well, some contrary to what some buyers think, it's not 100% buyer's market. It's trending back towards a buyer's market, but we're not there yet. There is a higher supply than what we saw last year, but last year was just odd. We'll probably never see that again. Prices are rising, but slowly. So waiting to buy is actually not your friend because the interest rates are go up. So if you look at a mortgage calculator and you look at, say, right now it's 6.5%, and if you wait a year, it could be 9%. The prices are going to go up and the interest rates are going to go up. So that would mean if you wait a year to buy a house, you're actually going to pay more, not just in terms of house payment, but over time with a higher interest rate. So time is not your friend. There are some agents that think, they see blood in the water and they're ready to go and make ridiculous lowball offers. And those agents obviously are not educated and their buyers are not getting contracts. So buyers really need to evaluate three key things. Financing, make sure that is done and make sure they're prepared. What does their competition look like? And what will it take to get that home? Those key three things are really important, especially if they fall in love with the house. I still have bidding wars going on. Just last weekend, I had multiple offers on a home that was priced at $700,000 over in the country club area. It was kind of cool because the HOA was having a meeting across the street. So they saw the 28 people at the open house and they're taking bets on how much over asking price I was going to get. And we did get over asking price. It was really fun. But you want to make sure that you hire a knowledgeable agent that helps the buyer get what they want. And the same with the seller. You want to hire an agent that knows what to do and what not to do to get you top dollar. Richard?
You're listening to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you or someone you know is thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900. She is the only person I would recommend. Or go ahead and visit barbhasthebuyers.com. You can find all of the information, the podcast, the YouTube, one-stop shopping at barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing the top 5 things to do to prepare your home in order to get top dollar. Stay tuned for that.